Hello everybody and welcome back to Ascension. We've got one more game on each stream left to go and we're all very excited to kick this one off. I believe Mal's and Job Life over on the A stream has already started an Apex versus Barca going on now. Determining who goes through to the playoffs is a big challenge and one that's going to take a while. We'll let you know exactly what the permutations of this scenario are for the remaining teams, of how many rounds they need to win, how many maps. That's complicated, so we've got the big brains working on it in the background. For now, I can tell you that CGN and Pacific are through, and the teams in red, you may have guessed it already, but they're not through. They're out. One spot remains for each group. Red is bad, Tom, and that is something Mouse should have thought about before making their logo. That's maybe why they're down here. Yeah, I think I know who's going through.
Luckily, it's just sounded like you were talking to yourself because I was muted. But even still, I didn't add much in, so it's absolutely fine. It just makes you sound a little bit insane. Nonetheless, yeah, CGN, after losing their first match going through, is massive. Like, the play-in team has made it through, so... Again, that's the second place team from DAC that's managed to make it all the way back. I didn't even intend for that to rhyme, but it sounded nice. Nonetheless, I think this is going to be another game where ultimately, from my perspective, which doesn't hold a lot of value, Apex's life is in their own hands. I think that's all we really need to look at in terms of, from our stream's perspective, is if they win, they are qualified, because 3 wins is bigger than 2 wins. That's how I'm looking at that. And if they are to lose, then we leave it down to the nerds who, you might be thinking, Tom, you're a video game commentator who is 30 years old and still shouts every time someone shoots someone with some pixels. You're a nerd as well. But these guys, we've locked them in a basement and they're going to just be doing calculations the entire time. That's not true for legal reasons. We're going to be getting into the map veto for Barca. This is a case of pride once again. This is an opportunity for them to prove that these close matches can be undone. Like, they went 2-1 every single series. It's definitely a heartbreaking way for them to go out of the tournament, but definitely proven that they can go toe-to-toe with anybody. So I don't think this is going to be a walk in the park. They've actually got in for a pick of Abyss. I believe that might be a slight counter, as they also lost it versus Go Next, but they lost it slightly better. So I guess that's why they've gone for this. Sunset, an obvious choice, as it is 13-1 across the year for Apex and 1-5 across the year for the side of Barca. So a heavy favorite in that map. And the third and final map will be Haven, which, hey, Apex have looked pretty decent on that, and it's more of a middle ground and has been played quite a lot so far for the side of Barca. So ultimately, I'd say that map 1 heavily favored to Apex, map 2 more of a middle ground, maybe slightly over to Barca, and map 3, I'd put it slightly over to Apex as well. So I think they're favored to take the series, and Mitch, they need to take the series.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Looking at the first map in particular, Tom, this is somewhere we're going to expect to see Kayak popping off, right? We got to see that Neon the other day up against Desire, and there was just no stopping him alongside of Vova. I think those are going to be big challenges for Barca, and from what we've seen so far from the Barca squad, it's not like they're completely lacking firepower. It's not like this is a team that can't deliver some upsets. In fact, they could have taken the series up against CGN, a team that's done remarkably well for themselves here in Ascension. So I wouldn't count them out by any means.
Yeah, like, I got to cover their opening game, and I think that Jesse was fantastic in it, had some really high impact fights. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from him. Obviously only brought in for this tournament, which of course Weber was a really big fan of, and we'll see if they're able to sort of find something here. I'm also a huge fan of Maniac. He's someone who's been around for a while, and I think, again, we get another Polish duelist battle, which I think is always going to be exciting. So hopefully we're going to get a good match here. Obviously, the Apex winning is enough. From my understanding, even them losing and winning a map might still be enough, but I'm not going to say that 100% because I'm not 100% sure. But them winning is enough.
That's the goal. It may surprise you, but for most teams, that will be the goal. Win the series. We'll see who ends up achieving their goals here today. For Barca, This is pride on the line and perhaps a trip to Mykonos. Don't know which one of those they'd rather.
That's a lot on the line. Like, if Apex win, they get a trip to Berlin. Barca win, they get a trip to Mykonos. I'm not saying that I'd rather have a trip to Mykonos.
Wow, then come into the studio, tell them you know what? You go to Mykonos.
I live very nearby.
that is true.
I don't live
It'd be a
nearby
great
Mykonos,
prize.
but I would also rather be a part of the VCT as a professional player for the next 2 years. So, you know, there's
I don't reckon you would, Tom. You'd get rinsed by Reddit. I've seen your sprays.
I already do.
Kayak, we said this guy, he might light up the server, and he's already got 3 kills under his belt. Guardi, he's trying to recover. 2 versus 4. Any pick would be valuable for this squad right now, and they're not finding a damn thing.
Lord.
4 kills in the pistol round. You worry about what this man can bring to the server for good reason. Kayak, he's aced it in the first.
Somebody really wants to go to Berlin, I guess. Like, oh wow, okay, yeah, that was a very impressive round from Kayak. That is a man who, as I've already said at the very beginning, this man is destined for the VCT. If his team come with him or not, it's a very different thing. But there is no doubt in my mind that we will see him on a tier 1 team next year. This guy is unreal, and he has aced the pistol round in their most important match.
Yeah, of all the times to do it, this really is the perfect one. Starting it out with success, flying colors, the side of Apex, and look at what they're up against. Barca, lots of weak weapons, but B site stacked up, B main with players tucked in every crevice. Unfortunately, although there were a lot of players here moments ago, it looks like they've made the correct read or gamble, whatever you want to call it. They seem to know something is up towards the B site, and with 4 players there and the other one in spawn, it's fair to say A should be pretty easy for Apex. The question is if Malsey gets punished. He has only got a pistol, so it's not going to be the biggest loss in the world, and he is holding on for dear life. Great damage.
Kayak's asking questions as to why he didn't ace it. But other than that, it's not going to be a huge loss. And for Kayak, he's already one away from his ultimate. So there's that.
Oh, that's weird.
They might have the overdrive. There you go. Overdrive is now available for him. I think this man's looking for style points, because I'm not going to say at this point he's being greedy, but there, other than just getting extra kills, there's not actually any value for him doing anything anymore. And the best thing about this is depending on how they want to play it, he can now give that rifle over to a teammate and just run around with laser beams.
Well, Tom, it looks like that is how they want to play it as well. Kayak's already dropped the rifle. I imagine finger guns are coming online right at the start of the round, and we are going to have quite the battle on our hands.
Especially with light shields as well. Like this, it can already shred people in the right hands. Like I think that's the thing. This ultimate is one that I was gonna say if you're accurate enough, but I've just watched him shoot 15 bullets in an attempt to find the cam and didn't find it, which is a bit unfortunate, really, because they're gonna get to hold on to that information on the defensive side. That's the thing, though. One of the things we've always talked about with Apex, be it this roster or the last, is how they deal with pressure. For Barca, pride on the line. Pressure, not at all. They're already out. For Apex, this is everything. They're already being talked about in the fashion of victors. They're already being talked about as a team that could choke it once again, just like the last roster. Let's see if they crumble in this scenario. Already off to a great start in this round, although Guardi's done well.
Yes, and Jesse seemed to have the timing, but Malsey's punished. The A site's open now. The plant can be acquired. Only says to stand in between them. I'm not going to get it done. Solkus putting him to a stop immediately. 3-0. Apex fighting from the very get-go. And a couple of moments where it looked like Barca would have a little something to say about this, but I think that's where it fell apart. That double pick really closed the round. Barca now have to go down to a very weak buy, and this is going to be a streak of rounds out of Apex, a probable 4-0 start. With Kayak 7-1, he has got to be feeling it before he's even had a real challenge in the rifle rounds. Before he's had a rifle.
Yeah, he technically had one in round 2, but yeah, gave it up just to try and do damage in the last. Wasn't even needed. His teammates did the work, winning their bonus. And for the defense, it leaves Guardi with a Guardian. And the rest are just going to be left on the sheriffs.
Right here.
B-site threat.
Right here.
Cam waiting for them. They know about the trap. That's put deep for the early information. Now they've got it. The smoke can go down. The smoke for the right side. They're just going to spam through it. Trying to make this least costly. It certainly is already. That's Kayak down. Damage done with the pistols. The rotates coming in for Barca. Lots of players here now ready to fight. And Guardi with his Guardian, like you said, he's good to pick up one. Jesse and Mignac stepping up to, and Hype now has to recover this. What should have been a round locked in is instead under threat and stolen by the side of Barca.
It seemed like the way things started, the read was there for Apex. They had the utility spotted, managed to get quite far into the site, but didn't win any of the fights. And the crossfire definitely looking better for that defensive side. Not the start that Apex will have wanted after getting 3-0 onto the board, but they do still have the finances to go back into this one. Ultimates, not too far away, but looking like the defense will have them first. They're even looking to try and challenge in the early round. In fact, we might have a brawl with Kayak. Well, I guess getting the respect of his opponent.
And that brawl is well and truly avoided, but Barca aren't happy to play it passive. They're going walkabouts on middle.
Right here.
Orwin and Mignac, the ones taking space. An initiator and a duelist. I think we know who's the first to take the fight, but Mignac's moved to B. They're trying to clear out the space. They're expecting B main presence, but instead, it's the other side of the map. It's A under threat, size to concede the space, and I'm not sure he'll get anything done. He was in this position before and got spammed down. And be surprised to see him stick around, and that drone tag sends him running.
Right here. Revealing enemy tag.
Looking like the defense are actually happy to play this one as more of a retake. I don't mind it. I think a lot of teams will get caught trying to be over aggressive. Speaking of aggression, though, that combo was perfect. The paranoia, the pulse flash, and everything in between. Guardi's done well. But the flash will be dodged, and there's no further need for him in this round. 4-1. I didn't mind the fact that Barca went for the retake, but the way that Apex were more than happy to be proactive in their post-plant just made it completely null and void.
Yeah, this is the problem, right? You have this squad setting up for the retake the whole time, which was the right call, considering we started out with Say's backside A. Like I said, he'd been seen there before. He got tagged by a drone, sent packing, and at that point, you're not going to just go running back in to compete. I think it was like him and Vorwin who were there on time to walk up to a smoke and spam where they've already lost a couple rounds ago. They lost a player to that kind of play. They've seen Apex are very keen to spam right back and that they're ready for it with how quick they did it before. So I think it was the right decision, but Apex get up in their face. They're disruptive about it, proactive. They don't sit back and let you set up. Instead, they go straight in and take those fights. Well, that's a mistake this time. Size waiting on the back of B. He'll find one. That is all he gets done. Weaknesses for some of the other players. Hunter's Fury put through by Malsey. And, well, it's not got a lot done. Nothing, in fact.
Yeah. Especially when combined with a reveal on the back. Well then, I guess that's one way to do it. An easy kill for Soulcast, another for Mosey. It doesn't seem like the ults being wasted actually matters too much, because the Neural Theft and Hunter's Fury went, but then they win all the fights anyway.
Last player standing.
Certainly is one way to do it. Like you said, when we start that out, right? Say it's just such a good opportunity, picking one off, doesn't play the retake this time with the weaker weapons, decides to stand his ground, gets the value with Kayak shut down, which is, you can't understate the value of that. But it's how quickly Apex make the adjustment. They just go running down towards him. He's got a disadvantage in the fight, so he loses it. And then they reset. Hunter's Fury is used just to get a little bit of extra space to buy some time as well as Plant is coming in. They win every single duel. There were 2 rifles for Barca, 2 big dangers, and they're dealt with immediately at timeout. As Barca see, they haven't been able to make as much of a dent in these previous rounds as they wanted to in terms of stopping the Apex aggression, stopping them from getting plants has been hard. Once the plant goes down, stopping them from continuing the push has been tough. And if the attackers are able to successfully push onto your site and push into your spawn, well, there's not a lot going right for you, is there?
Oh, this is a nice spot.
No, and I think as well, you just have to bear in mind that this is a map that
Yes, this should do.
Apex are
This goes here, that goes there.
incredibly competent on, so I don't think that this is something where you can afford to let them get too far ahead.
There.
Either way. Back into the round. How did Guardi get tagged up so badly already? He's already down to just 51 HP. Maniac, he's about to walk into what I thought would be a firing squad, but 2 players backed off. He gets a 1v1 versus Hype and he wins it. The pressure going to be put on elsewhere. Vorven has been off to a rough start. Seems like he's about to be revealed at the back of the site. They know exactly where he is. I wouldn't be surprised to see, yep, it's this util combo again. They have not been able to deal with the paranoia and Kayak combining together. Another pot flash to try and set him up, but Mosey's already got to kill Guardi, though, again. This guy has been doing well to fight these rounds back, but he falls. And now it's left all onto Jesse. His teammate down on the floor. Bringing it back, it's not going to be easy, and he's just been headshot through the wall. Soulcast, who's had some quieter performances, Mitch, really stepping up so far in this map.
Oh, absolutely. What a read that was. I don't know if he caught a glimpse of him moving back, but the initial aggression, perfect. What a response from Maniac and Guardi. It looked like they had this in the bag, but what a read by Soulcast, man. 6-1. The attacking side putting these rounds away like it's nobody's business. And now Barca, the ones to do it all. Weak weapons. 1 round on the board. They're saving over a bit of cash for the next, and the early aggression certainly doesn't go their way. In fact, the only damage they've got on the board right now is courtesy of Apex. Hype has snuck into that corner just in time. That'd be frustrating for Barca. They tried 2 attempts at tempered aggression, and immediately they are met with failure.
Patience now from Apex. For the most part, these sort of rounds can end with your opponents almost making the mistakes for you.
Take flight.
You have a 2-man advantage, a weaponry advantage. Well, they've definitely got the info. There's no doubt about that. Guardi, he's been good so far, but there's nothing to be had. Mosey immediately removes him from position. A rotation being attempted by Jesse, and it's the same. They don't get anything in this round. Another flawless to come through for Apex. 7-1 in the lead. Looking to speed run their way into the playoffs.
This round not as big of a problem with all the weaknesses in play, but it's the scoreline then that does just start to creep in on your mental. 7-1 is a dominant position, but Barca, they get to try something new. Maniac is pulling out the operator. They have 3 ultimates, 1 big one in the hands of Vorwin, who's had a tough game to say the least. I think that's fair to say for all the Barca players. They haven't been able to get it on the board just yet. There's still plenty of time. This is the round to get it done. If they fail here, Barca will have an extremely long road back into this. Size seems to be the one with pressure. No, he's not. Kayak's gone straight into the spawn. Vorwin's day is only getting worse. And although Kayak dies, he's opened up the avenue completely for his teammates. Great flash. Good shock. They're going to struggle to recover on this one.
Yeah, Vorwin's going to start believing that someone's put a curse on him, because this game has just been rough. I don't know if they've seen Maniac. I think they must have done. 2 players now. Whoa! Okay! Avova with the, well, Ferrari peak. That was just disgusting. Soulcast's timing couldn't be any better either. There's the first second as well. From a moment of Kayak going down a 4v4 to what, 20 seconds later and the round is already over. This is a clinic right now from the side of Apex.
Yeah, I think Vorwin's going to be coming out of this game straight into a Limp Biscuit marathon. I don't think he's going to be feeling very good. Straight out of this map, probably. That's the whole 6-minute break. Is just going to be him bopping off. Let that frustration out, because he has had a tough time of it, culminating in that previous round where Kayak just pops ult and runs straight into his face. Early Hunter's Fury. Back with a vengeance. And he won't be on the board just yet. Damage done to Solkis at least.
He doesn't
Foundation built. And yeah, you're right. He doesn't have a weapon. I mean, understandable. He's given it over to a teammate considering how things have gone so far. And Size does pick up Kayak. That's the opening.
Yeah, I will say Maniac having 1800, but I guess it's working. I guess the don't give Vorwin a gun strat has somehow come up trumps. They've still got to deal with hype. Getting this plant down is definitely not going to be easy. Trying to bait them in, but it works out in the end. It will be a second round on the board for Barca. One that they had the information very early. They were able to get very fast rotations, very reactive. Get people into position. Some solid wall bangs at that. Question will be is, can they recreate it?
That goes there.
Well, this is it. And how many times can they recreate it too, right?
Oh, this is a nice spot.
They're on a knife's edge at the moment. They can still fall into the side of this being okay, but the half could also spiral far out of control to the point that we see most teams struggle to even come close to recovering. That opening speaks well for them. Kayak had it so many rounds earlier on where he was just dominating the early fights, but now a couple of times Barca have been able to shut him down, and that seems to be the key to success. At least the first door opened.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, they've been able to pick him off in a few rounds. Most of the time it came at the trade of space or an opening kill. This is one of the first times that hasn't been the case. Oh, Jesse's almost caught. He's been having a rougher time of it here. Smoke fading in mid. It looks like that's where the attack were opting to challenge. Definitely need to be careful of that gap that's been left. Instead, they're pressuring towards this B site, but with 2 players in main, this is not going to be easy. Clear. In fact, they're going round the back. Jesse might be in for a very nasty surprise. No, in fact, it's Soulcast that's caught. And with the crossfire in place, I don't even think there's any time.
Last player standing.
Certainly running quite low. Avova putting up his fight, but too little too late. Another round locked in for the side of Barca. And like I said, look, that knife's edge, it could have been deadly. It could have been tough, but instead what could have been a 10-2 half, 8-4 now possible. They can still shoot for the stars, and this series is not, and the map indeed, not over for Barca, especially if they hit that 4. especially if they get the pistol under their belt.
Player standing. 10 seconds left.
We are starting to see some of these facets come online. Maniac growing into that duelist role, and Vorman on the board.
At 8-4, definitely not a death sentence. We've seen some
Cage triggered.
closer halves
Gotta go.
for this side, although I will admit a lot of them have been on the defense, is where Barca have really been able to put up those numbers. Jesse from above trying to watch over his team, but it's Guardi at the backside holding that line. Jesse just not able to find anything, and Moses going swinging. Moses got the timing almost spot on. The flash also completely blinded Foreman, but he still lives to tell the tale. It's now left on to one man, but again, with how things have been going, this might just be the man that you want. Maniac
Down B.
to try and face versus 2, the first successful. But still a chance for Hype to reposition. Plenty of time to play with, doesn't need to rush. Maniac gonna slowly realize, or maybe not. A little bit too slow from the duelist. A 9-3 half for Apex. A dominant start and an almost dominant finish.
It certainly could have been a dominant finish. 9-3, though, still a strong scoreline. We're going to go to a break and find out what happens in the second half after this. Well, folks, we are back 9-3 in favor of Apex. They are certainly looking good, and if there's a playoffs run to be had, they seem to be the team that has earned it for now. Barca looking to put up the roadblock, though, and stop them, and with 3 rounds on the board, they certainly have some work to do.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those scenarios where for Barca, again, pride on the line, but also a trip to Mykonos. 9-3 half, though. It seems like it should be very difficult to fight back from. Pressure we put onto Hype. Doesn't have a lot of support. In fact, he has none. And the swing back in from Kayak will even things up once again.
Planted.
Defense about to be pressured. An aggressive stance on this attacking side. Looking to fight through in towards the spawn, and they've done it. Pistol round under their belt. Lifeline has been grabbed.
And it has. Secured in the back pocket. This was a much needed round and close to slipping out of their grasp, but they've done what was needed. Barca buying themselves some more time and perhaps enough runway to get back into this. As we said, 9-3. It's workable, but it really did need that pistol win. Now, what it also needs is that Barca don't come in and lose the follow-up round. We've seen this more times than I care to count. But at least the start is good with Maniac and Vorwin both delivering. It looks like another... Well, Kayak was very close to ripping Guardi's head off, but yeah.
You know, it's only almost. Right, yeah, cool. Cool. That's how my classic works. Definitely works the same. Somehow I'm more scared of him now when he was running around with a rifle. And that's the thing, Avova's had a very good half. Soulcast has taken space in middle, but again, they have nothing to play with here. Any extra kills would be great, but expectations are slim to none. And while it would have to be an ace with a classic, if this one happens, I think we just end the series here.
I'm with you, Tom. I'm with you. But luckily, that's not going to happen. We don't live in as crazy a world as we could have. And it is 9-5. Barca chipping away at the lead of Apex. And they will be able to fight for this one with actually pretty convincing weaponry behind them. Full Vandals, full shields. Sorry, light shields. But everyone has shields. I think, and obviously full utility as well. All in all, this is a not a bonus round. And as far as getting a leg up early on with the ability to buy, even if they lose this one, they've got 2 shots to stall Apex early on.
I must wait a moment.
Go, go, go.
Maniac looking to not stall for a second. In fact, it's Size. He's managed to find himself a couple of kills in middle. That's a massive start to the round. Maybe even a third about to present himself. As there's a couple of players still around mid, almost looking to save this one. He knows exactly where they are, but isn't looking to overface. Not looking to throw the weapons away. And for the side of Apex, well, the hope was that they'd be able to save these, but it's not looking too likely at all.
Gotta go.
No more secrets.
Malzy could have one hell of a round, but not feeling it, even saving this rifle. A challenge. They're all around him. They've surrounded entirely. Maniac 5 HP, but boxing him in, keeping him a bit closer to the rest of the squad who are rounding those corners as we speak. Barca in with another. This one quite convincing, losing players in the late stage of the round, and Apex 3-round lead now. This was a dominant first half. They only allowed some rounds to fall into Barca's hands towards the end of the last half. That's given them anything close to this lifeline. And now they're on pistols, facing into what should be a 9-7 scoreline, Tom. This is competitive again.
Yeah, the crazy thing as well is, like, I've always heard from my girlfriend that size doesn't matter. But in this round, it really looked like he just completely turned it on its head.
Right. Now, Barca, do not slow this down as you typically would against pistols. They don't play the push and pull of the map. Instead, it's just all out aggression. And one kill is found by Apex as a result, but fairly clean stuff to begin. A 4 versus 3. 4 versus 2. Okay, Maniac is playing incredibly aggressive, and that risk is punished immediately by Malzy. Hopefully that doesn't cost too much more, because there is a rifle down, but luckily with the Vova falling, all they have to worry about is Malzy, and there's plenty of guns trained on this position. No way out without a big battle for this man, and a battle he'll have, but not one that he wins. 9-7, 2-round gap.
That's it. Again, a round where a very direct take, and you can see the confidence is growing now for Barca. 4 rounds in a row, the attack side looking good. As said, when they played this map previously, you're talking about 9-3 defensive half versus Desire 3-9 on the attack. They weren't able to put up any attack rounds. The last time they did was versus KPI in one of their only, in fact, in their only victory.
Hi, I'm pissed.
Maniac, though, is now going to take a leaf out of the book of Kayak and do exactly the same thing. Play this bonus round with his ultimate online, and Kayak has that happened last time. In fact, I remember it. Just a player being immediately obliterated, and while that seems to be the case for anybody who looks Kayak in the eye, the thing is, though, the trades have come back. Fragment into the corner, sort of, in an attempt to slow them down with the spike on the other side of this cage. That really hasn't helped. For Jesse, he's going to try and section them off a little bit, but buying a lot of time. And in fact, the attack are almost using that as a, I would say, a bit of a ruse, but they do end up going and grabbing the spike anyway.
Yeah, spike is grabbed and planted. Apex not looking to harass them all too much on that. Hunter's Fury available.
Not ready yet.
They're gonna go for this together, catching Jesse as he puts the smoke down, yet he still gets a kill. A second from this position as well, and Size all the while has been putting down covering fire. 3 HP for Solkus, and no decision but to run for the hills and save the weapon. But to run, hold on, no decision but to run away. Well, he's stuck around, and he's been shot in the head and lost the rifle. 9-8 we go. Barca, I am genuinely surprised that we're here, Tom. They're 1 round behind their opponents. after a lights out game to start, I really did not think they were getting back into this.
No, it definitely seems like Apex have taken their foot off the gas, and I think that's something Danito is going to try and deal with. Now, I will say, I believe this was when you were on the other stream. Oh, no, you were on this stream. I was on the other stream when we had Apex playing. Every time Danito took a pause, they would win from then on. Like, it was actually absurd. We had to ask him in the interview about it because it genuinely seemed like every pause this man took ended up winning Apex rounds. So I've probably jinxed the hell out of it, and they won't win a round from here onwards. But that's how much I believe in the Danito pause, is I'm willing to say and cast a curse the hell out of Apex to test whether or not his pauses are actually as good as they seem.
This goes here. Oh, this is a nice spot.
One round in between them, and Apex are deciding what to buy. I saw a rifle on Kayak, but they're still juggling around that economy to make it make sense for the next round as well. Double digits. They've been so close to it, but not a single round on the defensive side so far. Struggles have been there, and Barca trying to buy their way to Mykonos. 1:30 on the clock. Flank around from Hype. It was a quick push from Barca, and the reward is there immediately.
Nasty stuff from Maniac. This guy, as said, he's been around a little while now in the Tier 2C. We saw him briefly playing when before it became the league format. And, well, he's always been impressive. He's going to get himself a 4K here. 9-9. Scoreline equalized. From a completely dominant scoreline of no hope, it seems like Apex have completely dissipated, and in their place has come up an incredibly strong-looking Barca squad. 6 rounds in a row. 18-12 for Maniac at this stage, and well, this is where we're going to get the operator in for Apex. They're one ultimate orb away from having every single of their special abilities online. If there was ever a time for them to win a round, this would be it.
Nowhere to run.
Indeed it would. Hunter's Fury. Oh, it's close, and it's got him. Hype is down and out of the round. Maniac pushed up and got the space again. The early fights, they go to Barca. The space is taken as a result. They've got market. At least they did. Kayak, yeah, forced back, and reveal could be the death of him. Maniac is hot on his heels, running it down, and Malsey, the one to fall, as Kayak had already gone. A 5v1 of Vova on the other side of the map with it all to do and no hope. In fact, no idea to even go for it. He is saving that weapon. And from a 9-3 deficit, Barca, by the looks of things, have just claimed the lead.
Oh, I guess that Danito pause thing was straight baloney.
Hate to be the idiot that said that, am I right?
Yeah, what a fool. What an absolute moron. Because, yeah, it doesn't seem to have made... luckily, he's got another one, right? He's got one more. Might need to use it very soon, because this streak of rounds, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. With still some confusion in the air as to whether or not Apex are already qualified or if they need to win a map. I think in this break, I'm going to be diving deep into the rulebook, because I think it's whether it's head-to-head map difference between the 3 tied teams, or if it's overall, which I haven't checked. Well, Apex have tweeted that they are, so we'll see if they're wrong. Nonetheless, okay. Unfortunately, he's down someone in a spot where they should be able to bring him back. That one, not so much, though. Maniac going down is more of a problem. This guy has been fantastic. Well, without him to deal with Kayak, Kayak deals with everyone else.
There's a bit of a misread though. Hype. The only one on the angle. Hat off the head at just the wrong moment, but he gets out of there. The cage up. They know exactly where Vorwin is. And now this second player very much spotted too. Hat off the head. Neural theft. It got them everything. Dealt with the danger. Kayak closes this one out for Apex. At long last, they found double digits, but it's not extending their lead. Instead, it's competing for it. They're now neck and neck.
Yeah, they found the combo breaker. It turned out it involved killing off the one and only Manyet. That definitely helped things out. And to 10. Still a chance for Apex to get this over the line, but you have to wonder if that was truly the combo breaker or just a blip for the side of Barca. They're going back to this B site. It's had mass success for them, and again, there isn't really much to help out. They're all looking to try and come in from behind. The cavalry arriving as quickly as it left. The laser beam battle. Don't cross the streams. One of them already down, but the advantage still sat with Barca. Kayak looking to get back in as quickly as possible, but both players land their headshots. Barca take themselves the lead. And that puts them one step closer to taking that first map.
Well, they give Apex a round and immediately bite back. That's got to sting the pockets of the defensive side. You can see now, not a lot to work with in this. Pistols and a rifle. Barca may just have set themselves up for the best possible chance of closing this one out. And looking towards the A site. Already pings across the board. Manyek's got a quick one. He's 23 kills, matching that of Kayak. 5 players spotted. A huge knife early from Solkis. That information, though, hard to execute on with the weaponry they've got. They lose the opening. And Avova standing on the back of the site. You can see if he had a rifle, maybe, but Size even has the flank put in a box. This is tough for Apex.
Maybe one more.
One enemy remaining.
Nope, even that's not happening. And for Molzy, no point saving this Guardian. He will be able to buy back up in the next round with a rifle anyway, so if he can get a kill, steal a gun away, that might have a little bit of extra value, but no, it's not happening. 12-10. It was an absolutely dominant first half, a 9-3 scoreline. And now, well, just one round needed for Barca to take it over the line.
Nine 3 down, man. You know, you see what we were talking about with Barca and how they have had that potential. It's not like they've been boomed out of every match. There's been some closer games. There's been moments where we do view them as a competitor. And like I said, in previous years, that hasn't been the case. Like right now, it's looking, I mean, it's impossible for them not to be. Barca or the bottom team. They're probably going out either 1-3 or 0-4. And yet I reckon if you run this group back, there's a chance they get at least 2 wins on the board. Hell, this is looking like one, and it very much could have been a victory in their game up against CGN. Same thing against Desire. And with 13-10 on both maps that they lost against Go Next, less so, but they've definitely been a competitor. They can be proud of that, but this is an absolutely perplexing situation to find yourself in. 9-3 down, 12-10 up, and set to close it out. Ultimate's there for Apex. 2 rounds needed for an OT.
Gotta hope that those pauses come in. Second time's the charm. Soulcast already will kick things off with an opener. A bit of an overextension from Jesse, peeking through the smoke. Gonna make this crossfire tougher to hold, but already it's gone well for Vorven. He's taken 2 with him. He got a rough start to this game, but it'll be dealt with. However, Guardi's there on the trade. Keeps things even for now. Still has a pot flash. He's going to go facing it, but the shots aren't connecting. It's left on to Size, and he's going to be able to take things over the line. 13-10, an incredible comeback for Barca.
Oh, it absolutely is. This squad was looking down and out, but Apex, maybe they let their foot off the gas, but Barca certainly slammed it, pedal to the metal. An impressive result for this squad. We're going to toss this one to a break, and when we come back, plenty more Valorant action coming your way. I'm excited to see what Barca can do. A potential 2-0 to close out Apex's season.